Hey everyone, David Twibell here. I bet when you turn your car, you look before you turn. You look where you're going, you put on your blinker, you check your mirror and your blind spot, and you make your turn. And yet, we as pilots as a whole generally do not clear our turns. I've literally seen it thousands of times. And why is this? Well, I think the first reason is because it's not normal habit in our day and age of flight training to require students to clear their turns. We do it in the practice area when we clear our turns for maneuvers, but we don't do it for every single turn, both on the ground and in the air. The other reason, I think, is the big sky fallacy. We subconsciously assume that there's nothing out there. We can just go ahead and turn. And 99.99999% of the time, that's true. But in that tiny fraction of a percent where it's not true, the results can be catastrophic. So we need to be on the lookout for things that are not squawking and talking. We need to be looking for antique airplanes with no ADS-B, gliders, balloons, hang gliders, large flocks of birds, towers that are sticking up into our airspace. All these things can get us if we're not careful. And many of them, especially the birds, will never have ADS-B, so we've got to clear those turns. So how do we go about doing it? Well, I like to teach a 3-step initiation process to my students. And it goes like this. Looking left, clear left, turning left. I make them say those 3 things before they ever do a turn. And I think we as flight instructors need to require that from our students for every single turn. Now, how do we go about doing this in a low wing? It's pretty easy. We look in the direction we're about to turn, and we turn. We can clear the area as we continue the turn. But this does not work very well in high wing airplanes because in high wings, the wingtip is just barely above the horizon usually, and it very well could be blocking traffic that's same altitude to us. And that traffic, if it's same altitude, will be sitting just above the horizon. If you extend your arm all the way out, it's about the width of your thumb laid flat like this, that they'll be above the horizon. So we need to lift the wing in the opposite direction that we're about to turn. So we lift the wing. That allows us to get a good, clear field of view, and then we can roll into our turn. We now have a blind spot, and we make the turn. That's why, though, with that blind spot, I only like to turn 90 degrees at a time if I'm not intentionally doing maneuvers like steep turns, to make sure that I'm clearing the area as I go, because it's really hard to clear behind you as well. So turn 90 degrees, lift the wing, clear again, roll back in. So if you incorporate these intentional methods of announcing your turns before you make them and that you're clear, and that you make sure you lift the wing if you're flying a high wing airplane, you should make sure that you take care of that tiny percentage that could be catastrophic. So remember to always clear your turns. And until next time, fly safe.